Hi, it's Paul from Model Builder International. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down the bottom. Then you'll get notified of videos, be they inbox reviews, build videos, and also all the competition videos. So today we're going to have a look at the fourth kit from Kajika. This one is the 1/700th Kirishima. Okay, so one of us has already opened the box and had a look-see and thought I was recording, but one of us forgot to press the record button. So we're going to sort of do this one a little bit differently. First off, this is Kajika's fourth kit, 1/700th scale Kirishima, as she was when she was built in 1915. This is obviously a very different ship to the World War II Kirishima. There's a bit of information on the side, basically a bit of background, but on the other side a couple of photos of the Hai and the Haruna, which have already been released and we've already reviewed. Everything was packed inside the box. The bottom of the box is thick cardboard, or thicker cardboard, so that was pretty good. Everything was separately bagged. The decks and these parts were wrapped separately in like a foamy paper. Instructions basically the same as the first three ships. List of sprues at the top. There's some slight changes here. I've spotted one already, but I'll just double check to make sure there's not more. And then just go through the steps. I think there's 11 steps in total. Nice and big diagrams, clearly explained, easy to see. This is a waterline ship. There is no full hull option. You get the metal plate for the bottom. It's quite straightforward. The painting, the colours are called out in Mr. Hobby and Tamiya, and they're named as well. Colour scheme is pretty straightforward. It's basically just one hull colour. Obviously a thin red line at the bottom, so that should be a nice, reasonably straightforward kit to paint. And then going through them, we've got, that's the sort of the waterline. Here's a metal plate to super glue inside to give it a bit of weight. Two-part deck. Protected, the bow is pretty pointy, it's got some protection there. You can see deck detail on here, the planking. Lots of small parts on there, a bit of fine painting, and it'll come up nicely. Main hull, there's plate detail on the side, and I can see there's some nice detail on here, portholes as well. I was trying to see if the portholes have got eyebrows or not. I think I can feel something with my thumbnail, but hard to tell. I'd have to look up really close. Then coming through, a lot of these sprues are the same as the first three ships, obviously, since all four ships are sister ships. There's only small variations between them. A decal sheet with two sets of Japanese flags. So this one I definitely remember from the other kits, all the ship's boats. So we've got this one I remember as well. Two here with funnels. Obviously the Kirishima had 3 funnels, we've got 5 now in the kit, so you're going to have some parts left over, obviously. And the funnels are hollow, one piece, slide molded. And the funnel caps, basically if they were replaced by photo etch, or you'd end up with exactly the same thing, maybe just a little bit thinner. Flyhawk really do put a lot of fine detail, sorry, not Flyhawk, Kajika. They're basically sister companies. They put a lot of fine detail into their kits. Now the one thing I noticed was we have this one we've seen before. Notice that the barrels are hollow at the end. Normally you'd have to buy brass in order to get hollow barrels. And then what we've got is this sprue, which normally holds 4 turrets. This one has 3. Again, another set of barrels, so there's more spare barrels. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've actually got 7 funnels in this kit, so I have 4 extras. And then this, I think, pretty sure is a new sprue. This is sprue V with the 4th turret, which is a little different to the other 3. And there's another couple of parts in here, a couple of superstructure parts in there as well. So I think this is where the new parts come in, the differences between the Kirishima and the other 3 ships. So what we'll do now is we'll do our usual. We'll have a quick bit of background on the Kirishima, then we'll have a background of this kit in plastic and this kit itself, like part counts and things like that. And then we'll go through each step and have a close-up look at some of the parts, the key parts in each step. Kirishima was the 3rd of the Kongo class laid down in 1912, but she was commissioned on the same day as her sister ship Haruna in 1915. After that, she just patrolled off the Chinese coast during the First World War and helped with rescue efforts in the 1923 Great Kanto earthquake. Other than that, she stayed pretty much as she was until 1927, when she went in for a major refit that she didn't go out of till 1931. And after that, she looked a very different ship and a more pagoda-style Japanese superstructure. So this kit looks at her as she was, basically as she was commissioned in 1915. The Kirishima's been done in plastic and 1/700th scale many times before. Usually by the usual players for this, Oshima, Hasegawa and Fujimi. However, nobody's done her as she was when she was launched before in 1915, which is quite a different ship. So what we've actually got in this kit, what they've done is there's one extra sprue V. Each of the 4 ships of the Kongo class that Kajika have now covered, they have the same basic set of sprues, plus some additional sprues for the small differences between each ship. So this kit has 7 sprues holding 315 parts. Obviously not all are used because of the variations between the 4 ships. There's 8 larger parts, a metal base plate, a small decal sheet, and also the double-sided instruction sheet that you're looking at now. Moving down onto step 1, we start with putting the bridge together, and some nicely detailed parts in here with deck planking, and also quite a few small parts as well. Then moving to the right in step 2, and we're putting the masts together, which are included in pretty finely moulded plastic. In step 3, we're amidships, putting the funnels together. Remember, the funnels are moulded as one hollow part, and the funnel caps are very finely moulded as well. And then a couple of ship's boats in the middle, and then that's the centre of the superstructure put together. Step 4 is really quick, putting together the 16 secondary guns. Step 5, putting together the 4 main turrets. That's one of the additions to, or changes on Kirishima. One of the turrets is different than it is on the other ships of the class. Then moving down to step 6, and we put the hull onto the hull base plate and add the 2-part deck. The deck has some nice detail on it. Fine painting will be needed unless you get the masking set, which is available for this kit. Step 7 has us fitting the davits to the ship's boats. The ship's boats are very nicely moulded. They've got lots of interior detail to them as well. They're pretty impressive actually. And then go down to step 8, and essentially we're just fitting the davits and boats that we've just assembled in step 7. We're putting those in place along with a few other smaller parts as well. Step 9 is basically we're bringing together the sub-assemblies we've made in previous steps. We're putting those onto the hull. There's a few other small parts, a bit of drilling through the deck to do, but other than that it's mostly dealing with assemblies. Step 10 and 11, we're adding the last final details. Step 10, we add some details at the bow of the ship, and step 11, we're adding a few last pieces at the stern of the ship. The last part is painting. Colours are called out by name, Mr. Hobby and Tamiya. The painting guides, as you can see, is in colour, and there's quite enough there to allow you to paint her as she was commissioned. Pretty simple painting scheme, basically overall grey, and obviously a tan colour for the deck. So it'd be a nice kit to make a start on if you're new to shipbuilding. Then the only extra bit is the decal sheet with a couple of options for flags. So an overall conclusion. The kit's not quite released yet. I see HobbyLink Japan has it listed for just over $30 with a May the 1st release date. It's a very nicely detailed kit. It's accurate. It has some little differences to denote that it is in fact the Kirishima, not one of the 3 sister ships. Kajika's now done all for the Congo class, interestingly for 1915 obviously. They've not made an announcement about what's going to come next. It will be interesting to see what it is. It'd be really neat to have all 4 of these ships in a diorama together. That would be cool. There are some extra parts available for this, as there are for all the other ships in the class. I can already see there's an extra P fret of over 100 parts, a wooden deck and paint masks are available. So many thanks to Kajika for sending it along for us to have a look at.